Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Soap Lore. I'm your host, Jed, still viewing and reviewing the Sophia Sudzia's primetime storyline of 1981. We're back in Dallas. We got to get a couple teams straightened out before we move on to anywhere else. So whether you're new to this or true to this, sit back and enjoy. Tell the kids it's time to play outside or out of sight. Tell babe no questions, suggestions, or concerns for the next 25 to 35 minutes. Everyone else in earshot, cool, quiet, or kicked out are the only options you got, baby, because we are watching our story. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Soap Lore. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Soap Lore. I hope your day is shaping up well. I know I'm better now that we are together. We are jumping into Dallas. Oddly enough, I watched this episode all the way through, and I don't know what it is about season 5 and a hospital visit, but we got us a season 5 somewhat of a hospital visit. Hospital adjacent visit. Buckle up, baby, because this is getting good. For those of you who are OGs and already know what's going on, I envy you. Because as this is piecing together, all I could say is kudos to you, Dallas. You piece this together just so. There are a few holes in the story, but we're going to let that be. We're going to let bygones be bygones because 1981 or 82 is not 2026. Either way, we're jumping into season 5, episode 10 of Dallas, starting over. My goodness, where are my manners? I didn't even wait for y'all to pour up whatever you need to pour up. Go ahead and send your girl a text. Let me know what you listen to or what you enjoy while you're listening to Soap Lore. I'm just going to call you Sam. This is a comment I got off of a website. It's Sam, and then there's a bunch of letters after you. Says that she enjoys a Long Island iced tea after a long day, and she gets through her chores by listening to Soap Lore. I'm so glad I can help you out with that, girl. I need to help my dang self out with that. But a Long Island iced tea sounds delicious. Have y'all ever made sun tea? Basically, for those of you who don't know, it's where you just make the tea outside. We used to do this in the summer. We put a jar outside. You put a few bags of Lipton or whatever your favorite thing is. Slice a little lemon. Sometimes you can put the sugar in. If you're from the South, obviously the tea is going to be sweet. If you choose not to do that, that's also your business. But you put it outside on a car for about 2 hours. It is boiling hot by the time you bring it in the house. It is so good. To me, it tastes better than any tea brewed in a kettle or any tea brewed in a pot on the stove. But I'm just kind of curious. I feel like it's a lost art. I don't see it as much anymore, but I have a couple mason jars. I think I'm going to set them outside and make myself some. All right, y'all. Y'all didn't come here to talk about consuming tea. We came for vintage TV tea. And this episode does not disappoint. I'm not really sure what I'm going to name this one, but I feel like the theme was blaring this episode. It is the fragile male ego versus female intuition. This episode is where all the ladies on the show know exactly what they want, but they can't have it. And all the men on the show know exactly what they need. The men know what they need, that is. But they also can't have it all. They can have a little bit of it, but they can't have everything they need. And it comes to a head by the end of the episode. So, surprisingly, JR is a bit player this episode. When last we left, he just got his rear end, as I think Cliff said. He said something like that, something gentle, but you know what he wanted to say. Handed to him by none other than Clifford the Barnes. Now, he's smart enough to know he's not in a position to talk cash crazy because he does need this extension and he certainly needs the money. So if he can't have the money, he'll take the extension, but he's going to make sure he has to gain some sort of power back. So he tries dry snitching on Cliff, tells Leland Vaughn and Jordan Lee that Cliff Barnes gave me an extension, but he only did it for his own personal gain. Now, Leland Vaughn and Jordan Lee look at each other because they already know what's up. Mind you, this is the man who screwed them over more times than a little bit. Yeah, they got their money back eventually, but they already know how he operates. So Leland Vaughn is like, oh, what do you mean? Jordan Lee says, I think he means that Cliff Barnes made him sign over Ewing number 6. And Leland's like, oh, you think so? They're being real cute about it. They are enjoying this. JR is shocked. He's like, well, yeah, he did. He only did this for his own good. He didn't want y'all in it. Little did JR know, Leland Vaughn and Jordan Lee had a bet. They actually told Cliff, why don't you sprinkle in a little something about Ewing number 6? I don't think he'll give it up to you, but if you can make him, I mean, that's just more entertainment for us. JR now has to eat even more crow. He is even more embarrassed. He feels even smaller than he did before they walked in there. Not only did he get this extension that he probably can't pay back, but they knew he was going to lose something. So it's like, even if he can come up with enough money to dig this company out of the hole, he's still going to be down one thing. And maybe that's just enough satisfaction for people who can't stand you. I may not be able to take everything I want away from you, but I can watch you be uncomfortable. I can watch you squirm, and I can watch you lose a little something. Geez, that was embarrassing. JR tries his best to focus on the task at hand. I have a few more days to come up with an absurd amount of money, but I've done more with less. Let me see what I can do. He calls his secretary. He says, hey, go on and book me a flight to New York. He then tells her, call that guy that Leslie Stewart talked to that one time, that broker in New York, patch him through to me. She does her job. He's talking to the guy on the phone. JR decides he wants Ewing Oil to go public. I'm assuming that means that people could buy a bunch of shares. He would make a quick buck and at the very least, be able to pay back what he owes. The broker on the other end of the phone is a broker, not an oil man. So he's like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. We're going to put a pin in that for the time being. And we got to talk about my girl, Sue Ellen, and her brand new paramour, Dusty. Sue Ellen and Dusty's big old fine daddy are eating breakfast. Daddy Dusty. I'm just going to call him BFD. BFD notices that Dusty ain't been coming to breakfast, joining he and Sue Ellen of late. He says, Sue Ellen, where's my son? Begrudgingly, she admits that he has been riding his horses all morning. That's all he want to do. He want to watch horse videos at night, and then he wants to go ride a horse all the morning long, all the afternoon long. I hardly even see the man. Well, as they're talking about why Dusty might be riding off into the sunset and sunrise every day, Dusty graces them with his presence. He tells them that he's going on an old-fashioned cattle run. A cattle run, like it's 1860 or something. Sue Ellen turns into his mother all of a sudden. Absolutely not. You most certainly are not doing that. Do you know how dangerous that is, Dusty? Okay, I get that this is dangerous, but also I feel like if he can walk, you can ride a horse. I've seen babies on horses. I've seen very, very small children. I've seen very old, fragile people on a horse. So long as a horse is comfortable with you and you know how to hold on, you're going to be fine. Seems to me if he has enough strength to walk and he's been doing it his whole life, I don't really see where the harm is in this. And that's, do you agree? Like, I don't really see the harm in him jumping on a horse. She says, damn it, Dusty, that's too dangerous. Mind you, this man was hurt in a plane crash, not on a horse. Dusty is offended. He's like, girl, I've been riding horses my whole damn life. I don't care how many cattle. I think there's like 70 cattle. I don't know, y'all. Let's just make up a number. For the sake of this argument, there's 150 pieces of cattle that are going to be roaming about. Sue Ellen feels like that's too dangerous for somebody like Dusty, who just now learned to rewalk. He said, girl, back in my day, before this here accident, I could round up 1,000 pieces of cattle by myself. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call a Texas tall tale. It is intertwined with history. Sometimes it is swapped out as history. Think of it as egotistical revisionist history. Okay, Dusty. So Dusty used to be Pecos Bill, and he could round up 1,000 cattle all by his lonesome. He is offended that she doesn't believe in him now. So he leaves Big Fine Daddy, or BFD, and Sue Ellen talk about it. And his dad's like, yo, he's been doing this his whole life. It's only natural that he's going to want to jump out there. You just got to let him do this, Sue Ellen. He needs to see what he's made of. And he's looking pretty good. I've seen him riding, a couple times. He looks pretty good on it. She's like, all right, yeah, whatever, old man, whatever. BFD tries to get in her head a little bit. He says, now what about JR? Would JR go on a cattle run? Would he wrangle 1,000 pieces of cattle all by himself? She scoffs and she's like, in Dior? Please. JR is a designer queen, and he's certainly in dusting of his clothes by jumping on a horse. Are you high right now? Wrong, brother. JR could never. So I think he's kind of sort of planting this seed like, okay, maybe he wouldn't do that, but every man has something that they absolutely have to do. Lucky for you, he just wants to ride horses. She didn't have too much time to really meditate on that because she gets a call from her lawyer later on in the show because the divorce is almost done and he wants to have her come into town so they can go over some particulars because the clock is ticking. So she and the lawyer discuss the previous hearing, the temporary hearing where she won custody of John Ross Ewing III. The lawyer was surprised, to say the least, at how reined in JR seemed at that hearing. He feels like something is wrong. He can't quite name what it is, but he's like, listen, it was almost too easy. He's worried that JR is going to show his entire behind at the new hearing. He's going to show out. So the lawyer has also heard about the Farlows losing their refineries and that they're kind of running out of money, that things ain't oh so sweet on Sue Ellen's end either. Well, she fills him in and she's like, yo, JR set up this whole scheme because he's mad because I'm at the Farlow's ranch. He wanted them to give me and the baby up, but they said no. So he started buying up all this all whoop. It's a mess. That's the only reason all that's happening is because JR has orchestrated this. So the lawyer takes this in and he's like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Sue Ellen. If a man like that will do something that crazy, imagine what he'll do when he has nothing to lose. I think you're in for one hell of a fight. So I need you to be on your P's and Q's. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't do anything crazy over the next few months. This is gonna be a mess. She's like, all right, man. Okay. All right, I guess it is. So she climbs back into her automobile and she heads back to the Southern Cross. Now, what she doesn't know is that JR is in New York at this exact same moment trying to put Ewing Oil out for the public to be a publicly traded company with the quickness so he can collect some money. That is to work. It might be in his favor, but she has no way of knowing that. So anyway, back at the Southern Cross, where Dusty and his even dustier buddies are cackling over a cooler of Bud Light, Sue Ellen walks upon them to greet them as a proper Southern lady would do. It's something about their joy, though, that's rubbing her the wrong way. You can tell she's uncomfortable as she pulls up. So turns out that the roundup or the cattle run or whatever went really, really well. All the guys are cackling and laughing about it. And she's seeing them and she's uncomfortable by it. She asks Dusty how he's feeling. He's like, I'm fine. I'm just a little bit sore. One of the cowboys says, well, if you're stiff now, just wait till tomorrow. It goes dead silent. Dusty shoots like daggers at him. Turns and is like, shut the hell up. Ladies and gentlemen, I misunderstood what he meant by that. Dusty gives him the death stare, and Sue Ellen wants to know what's happening on tomorrow. This man's talking about, the rodeo in San Angelo. Oh, okay, the rodeo. Oh, my bad. The rodeo in San Angelo. I misunderstood what kind of stiffness he meant. Forgive me, y'all. I don't usually go there, but I got to go there today. I thought Dusty was shooting him a look because they were talking about him being impotent. That's what I thought he was saying. I kind of did a double take. I'm sorry. So my jaw's on the floor as my mind reeled from the shock of innuendo on national television in 1982. Then the cowboy clears it up. No. There's a rodeo tomorrow. So, he's sore. He's going to be sore from riding horses. Oh, okay. Sore, not stiff. I get it. Okay, I get it. Sue Ellen immediately says, oh, no, hell no. What rodeo? You ain't riding in no rodeo. Do you know how dangerous that is? But her discomfort lasts about 4 minutes because there's a quick little scene in between that. And then the next time we see them, they are pulling up to the San Angelo rodeo, where it's clear that Dusty is not only excited to be there, but Dusty is a star. He's a superstar. People watch him get out of his car, not a truck, which I thought was so weird. He gets out of the car, pops the trunk, and pulls his saddle out of a trunk. I don't think a proper cowboy would ever do that. But the crowd goes wild. People are immediately pumped to see him walking, number one. Number two, with a saddle. Dusty, you finna get back on the horse? You finna do this? Okay, he's going to ease into it. He's only going to ride the Broncos. He's not going to do the other things he used to do. I tell you what, though. Dusty does this for real, for real. He is excellent at it. He bucks the hell out these Broncos, and I mean it. Although it does look exactly like those films he likes to watch of himself at night. So I'm sure production's like, listen, we ain't got enough money to be shooting rodeo scenes every other day. We're going to shoot one at the top of the season and we'll plug it in where we need to. Look exactly like him in those videos he watches at night, but I can't really say for sure. So it's not even that he rides well that makes this scene like poignant. It's that the announcer really bigs him up. He's like, "This is our guy. He just came back from an accident. We ain't seen this man ride in this many months. Look who's back, everybody. It's Dusty Barlow." And Dusty Barlow handles his business. It's also undeniable that BFD is equally as proud. He is a proud papa watching him. Sue Ellen is watching and she is nervous as hell. And I'm nervous with her. They're bucking and flipping and doing all kind of stuff. One of the guys who was riding right before Dusty got tossed off within like 2.5 seconds. I've watched the movie 8 Seconds. I've also watched the little rodeo thing on Amazon. It is nerve wracking. I almost had a heart attack. I can imagine what she's thinking. I'm watching this and I'm getting upset because I'm like, you got to drive this woman back to drinking. She's gonna have to pop something in order to watch him do this daily. I thought she was gonna go down to the concession stand and get a barrel. Okay, so he does well, and it goes without saying that he's back. Ain't no way this is going to be a one-off. So Sue Ellen and BFD are leaving the stands when she asks to speak to Dusty solo. I need to speak to him privately. Big Fine Daddy's like, okay, fine. You can talk to him if you want to. There's a massive crowd around Dusty, but it immediately dissipates as she approaches. I don't know if they could feel the ice coming off of her. I don't know what it is, but there is definitely a vibe coming off of Sue Ellen. They go silent and they dissipate. He runs over to her. "Hey, Sue Ellen, did you see how I did? It was so much fun. Where's my dad?" "Hey, baby, I just need to talk to you privately." She basically tells him, "Baby, you were so hot out there. You were fantastic. You look so alive. And God, I know this is a great moment for you, but I can no longer be with you." He's like, "What? I beg your pardon?" She says, "Dusty, you belong here. It is obvious to anyone here you belong at the rodeo. And I'm not going to be out here dustying up my butter pecan ensemble." She is. She's wearing like yellow and then brown boots. It's so cute. But truly, what she sees is that there is an undeniable joy radiating from him as he does this. It's like a fish to water. He is so natural. This is exactly what he needs to be doing with his life, and this is exactly where he needs to be. And she can see the difference in his joy and his vitality there versus at what she sees at home. She feels like him seeing her daily is just a reminder of the one thing that he can't do, his one and only failure. It's hard to watch him be happy, but it's even harder watching him be sad when he looks at her. He's shocked. He's like, "Sue Ellen, I thought you said it doesn't matter." She's like, "It doesn't matter to me, but I know it matters to you. Please tell me I'm lying." He can't even deny it. He's like, "Well, I mean, I don't feel fantastic about not being able to do this in our bedroom, but I mean, I didn't realize you were picking up on it." She's like, "I am, and I just can't stay with you. I can't do it. This is where you need to be. I hope you come here every single day. This is your place, buddy." And he's like, "Sue Ellen, you don't have anywhere else to go." She says, "I don't have anywhere else to go, but it's not a good enough reason to stay. I can't just stay with you so I can have 3 square meals a day, Mercedes-Benz allowance money to get my hair did, people taking care of my baby so I ain't got to handle it. It's really selfish of me to keep all those amenities when I know my presence bothers you." That's a real one there. That's a real woman. Meanwhile, back in Dallas, Bobby is having a very, very busy day. Top of the show, Pam is chilling by the poolside. She is still home from her previous day's visit, and she looks quite comfortable. She don't look like she's going anywhere. Never mind the fact that she's in slacks, pantyhose, and kitten heels by the pool. Let her live. You know what I'm saying? Let her live. Bobby wants to know why she's still at the house. "I thought you were just spending the night, my love. Why are you not back at the loony bin?" And she says, "Because I don't want to be at the loony bin. I want to be here." Which might be equally as crazy, but here I sit. Hospitals are for squares. No, she didn't really say that. She's like, "Bobby, I'm fine. I just don't really feel like I'm getting anything out of the hospital." Bobby's like, "Baby, I understand, but let's just walk through this program. You obviously are in there for a reason. I want to make sure you are 100% when you come back so that we can live our lives as we should." She's like, "You know what, Bobby? I'm with you when you're right. I guess I can go back. Starting to stink out here anyway." And it's not that Bobby doesn't want her home. He just wants her home and well. Plus, he has some unfinished business to clean up before anybody goes anywhere. He calls up a friend from college. Not just any friend, a doctor friend named Alan. And he says, "Alan, I got a hypothetical question for you." Alan says, "Shoot." Bobby tells him it's about paternity. Now, his homeboy Alan immediately is like, okay, Bobby, are you in trouble? You know, you got somebody, you got your little ting ting side piece knocked up. Bobby's like, no, 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 it ain't me. This is hypothetical. Alan's like, okay, yeah, sure it is. Gotcha. So Bobby breaks it down. He says, okay, let's say there's this baby and the baby has AB blood. Now, the mama was for sure A blood. If I test a dude and let's say he has B blood, who's the baby's daddy? There's a lot of holes in this theory, but I have to remember this is 1982. This is the best you could do. The doctor explains that there's a range of blood types, and at best, you can eliminate somebody. You can't necessarily, he didn't say this, but I'm saying this. You can't necessarily confirm that someone is the dad, but you can eliminate people who are not. Simple as that, which is why Jordan Lee, with his O blood type, couldn't be the baby daddy. So while Bobby is talking to his homeboy, Dr. Allen, Pam is talking to her not homegirl, Dr. Conroe, who is not very good at asking questions. All she's like is, well, why, Pam? Why are you here? I'm here because my husband made me come back. Well, why don't you want to talk to me? Because there's nothing to talk about. Why is there nothing to talk about? Because I am over everything that we've already talked about. Why are you over everything that we've already talked about? Me and Pam are getting tired of this. Dr. Conroe, you are not making a compelling argument. I see why she is over this. Pam says, I know why my mom left, and I'm not even tripping about her being gone at this point. I know why I'm upset, and there's really nothing I can do about it. So I don't really see why we need to have these long conversations about why I'm upset. I'm mad because I can't have a baby. That's what I want. That's what I need. It's not happening. We can talk for the next 300 days. And guess what? It doesn't produce a child. We can talk about this to the end of the world and it ain't going to change anything. So I don't really feel like I should be institutionalized because I have a desire that is not being fulfilled and I no longer want to discuss it. You know what, Pam? Sold. I'm with you. She's absolutely right. All Dr. Conroe can say is, but why? Girl, if you don't stop playing with my insurance, don't worry about me. I don't need a doctor. I need a baby. And the only doctor I want to talk to is the pediatrician for said baby. If that's not going to happen, then I don't really need to talk to anybody. I'm with you when you're right. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Bobby asks his secretary to pull the company health records. He's going to get to the bottom of this once and for all. So luckily, I guess it's pretty easy. She pulls up the secretary pulls the health records, gives them to Bobby. And we find out that JR is a Cancer with a type B blood. Baby Christopher is a June 1st Gemini with a B blood, and Kristen she seems like a Scorpio to me. I don't really know. But she had type A. A plus B equals Christopher with a capital C. Bobby is shocked. He's like, you low down, dirty there ain't nothing lower than this. He is shook. Your sister-in-law? You knocked up your sister-in-law, then you sent her away. You ain't gonna take care of this baby? Oh, hell no. He's pissed. He can't even believe that this crap is going on, but he's still a Boy Scout, so there's still a mess to clean up. He ends up offering Brad Pitt H. Macy $30K for baby Christopher. Only thing is, Bobby says, I ain't even seen this baby. Sorry, as far as I know, you've been nickel and diming me out of $2,000 every 3 or 4 days, and there's no kid. Where's this baby? Now remember, Bobby got all the information from the birth records, the birth certificate, and a couple of Kristen's health records, some checks. He got all that information from Brad Pitt H. Macy. Brad Pitt H. Macy's like, yeah, the baby's fine. He's healthy. He's with good people. Bobby says, I want to buy the baby for $30K, but before I hand you any money, we're going to go to the hospital. I want to make sure that footprint is legit, that it belongs to that baby, and I want his blood tested again. Brad Pitt H. Macy's like, okay, cool. I can do that. It's been a while since Dallas reminded us that they too are in the talks of being fine on primetime television. This is something that Falcon Crest never ever forgets. And Gary Ewing never ever forgets. Everyone else sprinkles it in here and there. Adam might show us a little something from time to time. I won't even acknowledge Jeff or Steven. But I forgot that Ray is a quote unquote resident hottie allegedly on Dallas. But he reminds us this episode. He reminds us by chopping wood glistening like a Oscar Mayer wiener over a hot stove. It is 9,000 degrees in Texas. This man is shirtless and Criscoed, baby oiled up, chopping wood for God knows what. It ain't mesquite, so it ain't barbecue because you don't chop that up. He's chopping wood for the incoming snowstorm, I suppose. Donna comes out of the house in shorts and a long sleeve shirt saying, honey, it's 75 degrees today. I don't think we'll need that wood. This is where I have to interject. Honey, 75 degrees in Texas is a very cool breeze. That man would not be sweating that hard, especially if he's been there his whole life. He would not be sweating at 75. I could wear a jacket in 75 degrees. Anyway, she brings her man a little lemonade and she wants to talk to him because she can tell there's something bothering him. It doesn't help that he is poorly chopping this wood as if he's never done it. It's very clear that he just needs to get some sort of aggression out. She knows something's going on because she's an intelligent woman and the man only does 3 things. She knows which one of the things is bothering him. It's got to be this new land deal. The cattle are fine. He's sleeping just fine. It is the deal, but she don't want to say nothing if he don't want to say nothing. She passes him his lemonade or beer or whatever, and he tells her that he can only talk to Jock. Jock's the only man I've ever been able to confide in. I don't really talk to people like that. She's hurt because last she checked, she buried a millionaire and married a cowboy and took the last name Krebs, for crying out loud. Donna Krebs? Donna Krabby Patties, whatever. And you can't tell me what's wrong with you. You'd rather piss poorly chop this wood than talk to me? And he's like, yeah, basically I would. I don't want to shut you out, but I'm just not going to tell you what's going to go on. She walks away. He does the weird, I don't know what the hell he's doing. He looks like a drum major, but a really bad one. He like tries to swivel the axe over his head to heave-ho it. It's just not working out. I wish they had give this man something. He should have just been moving barrels of hay from side to side. That would have been a lot more believable. That's neither here nor there. Donna's a bright woman, and she goes to talk to yet another bright woman. She seeks counsel from Miss Ellie. Now, she explains that Ray is being all squirrely about this deal or whatever it is that's bothering him. She feels like it's the deal. And she wants him to talk to Jock. She needs him. If he's not going to talk to me, fine. Miss Ellie, you think you can get Jock on the phone? She's like, nah, Jock kind of out of commission. So Donna confides even more in her. She says, I think what it is that I'm intelligent and I'm wealthy. And I used to be married to a really smart guy. And now I got this book deal. And I think what is happening is that Ray is like trying to not necessarily compete with me, but he's a little bit intimidated by my continued success. Plus, now that he's a Ewing, he feels like he needs to compete with your sons. This is me assuming. Ellie's like, okay, yeah, I could see that. I'm kind of surprised because he was so gung-ho about being a cowboy in dirt and whispering to dirt and stuff. Donna's like, yeah, I know, which is 100% the reason I married him. Okay, Ellie's like, okay, I do think it's weird, but don't even worry about it. I'm gonna pull him aside. I'm gonna talk to him and see if he'll talk to me. We'll get this thing straightened out. You just play it cool. Don't say nothing else to him. Let me handle it. Donna's like, cool. Ellie does end up cornering him in the living room. Seems like it's way before the pre-dinner pep rally. And she says, Ray, you're acting a little squirrely. What's going on? Seems like Ray respects Ellie enough that he does go ahead and let loose about his insecurities. Now Donna can add author to her billionaire heiress political whiz kid resume. And who am I? I'm just a turd kicker from North Texas. Ellie listens really, really well. I was impressed with her listening skills, and she quickly realizes, she says, Ray, you told me what you're insecure about, but you didn't tell me what your actual problem was. Why are you insecure and what problem are you covering? He's like, damn, you're good. She's like, I'm a mom. I'm listening. So he explains that he feels weak because mostly all of the money that he's put into this investment is Donna's, and now he's short money, so he didn't feel like he can come up with the other part of it. It doesn't make him feel good, which is totally understandable. And she's like, baby boy, don't even worry about it. I'm going to get you that money. I have 4 sons now. I'm going to make sure you have the money. I do the same for any of my other kids. I think this is her way of saying, hey, I'm sorry I was showing out a few episodes back. I was very disrespectful to you for absolutely no reason. So this is, I'm sorry. I was tripping. I knew that my husband had a affair many moons ago. I got a little upset when I figured out my son. I'm sorry. My bad. He's like, listen, long as you cut the check, I'm not tripping, Miss Ellie. So the very next day, she marches Ray down to the bank and tells Mr. Moneyman Frank You know my new son, Ray. Give Ray 3 million of my Ewing dollars. Frank is like, well, hi, Ray. Hi, I'm Frank. I'd love to, but I can't. She's thinking there's a problem with giving it to him in cash. She's like, oh, well, I mean, we can loan it to him. Ray says, yeah, I'll sign whatever papers I need to. Frank's like, no, 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 you misunderstand. What, there ain't any money to do that with right now. Ellie is very confused. She said, I thought Jock said we had a lot of money. We kept a lot of cash reserves. I want the cash reserves, not the other money. Dude says, well, your cash reserve is almost zilch at this point. There's none. What had happened was JR took the cash reserves and he bought up all these tanks to hold all this oil. Oil's worth about 150 million, but the price is dropping. He also backed it up with these other assets, blah, blah, blah. He explains the whole thing. Ellie is shocked, mouth agape. Ray's jaw is on the floor. So the banker's like, well, listen, you're still Ellie Ewing. Let's not get beside ourselves. If you want to take out a loan, I just need you to put some other backings. So she's still in shock, but she's like, okay, yeah, of course. What do I need to sign over? Ray says, this meeting is cut short, sir. Could you get the hell out? I need to talk to my play mom. He won't let her loan him the money under these circumstances. He says, Ellie, absolutely not. No way, no how. I will figure this out one way or another. Shout out to Ray being the prodigal son and number 2 son overall out of all the sons. How you just enter the family, you already taking better care of her. This is amazing. The last thing he wants to do is have this woman try to pledge her house, which I totally respect. Now, all this is near the end of the episode where everything starts to kick up a notch. All right, y'all. After Bobby and Brad Pitt H. Macy agree to have baby Christopher's blood test and footprint verified, as to ensure this isn't a decoy baby, I suppose, Bobby ends up calling Donna and tells her, I need your help. I need you to take Ellie out of the house. I need her to be gone this evening. Donna didn't even ask any questions. She says, say less, Bobby. I'll take her to dinner or something. He's like, damn, it was that easy? Don't you want to know why? She said, if you wanted me to know, you would have told me. Donna is a full-grown woman. After that, well, maybe right before that, Bobby had called his office for some reason or another, and the secretary told him that JR would be back in town this evening, but he's going to go straight to Southport. He's not going to come back to the office. So Bobby's like, oh, hell yeah, he going to be at home? Bobby's got a plan. Bobby's going to show up bold as the day is long, holding a fresh baby, and demand that this man take care of his kin. I'll give Brad Pitt H. Macy a little bit of credit. He did seem a little bit sad to leave the baby, but not sad enough to leave that 30K. So he's like, he likes chicken. He likes carrots. I got a car seat. Bobby's like, great. I'll put him in the front seat of my 2-seater convertible with the top down, and I'll make sure he's facing the front. I'm stressed watching this. Can you imagine riding from Dallas 45 minutes to South Fork? That baby is breathing. Oh my God. They don't care about us, man. I'm telling you. 80s babies are breathing in dust. We're perfectly fine today, I guess. So Bobby puts the baby loosey-goosey in the front seat. He's shaking up like a blender the whole time home. He's driving home like a bat out of hell. Now, Donna does keep her part of the deal, and she does pick up Ellie. But Ellie is pissed off from this day that she's had trying to get Ray this money. She's telling Donna about it as they're walking to the car. She's like, girl, I tried. He refused my help. So hopefully he'll ask you. Why don't you just offer him the money? Donna's like, I can't offer him the money because then he'll know that I know why he needs the money. And Ellie's like, damn, this is exhausting. Donna's like, I know. That's why I wanted you to call Jock. I appreciate your help. Let me take you out to dinner. Ellie's like, yeah. So they're talking it up. They go and get in the car. But as they get in the car, they see JR being dropped off. And Ellie is pissed. She don't want to eat now. I'm going to go in here and cuss this little boy out. Donna, pull this car over. Let me out. I'm sorry, baby. I can't go to dinner. So Donna's just like, all right. I mean, again, she didn't ask why she needed to take Ellie, so she doesn't understand the urgency. I guess she's going to take herself out for a delicious meal, and she still has millions of dollars at this point to do so. Well, Bobby is coming home. He's flying up pretty quickly after that. Now, Bobby does not know that Ellie's there. What Bobby also doesn't know is that Pam checked herself out of the loony bin and decided to go home too. So she's also there, but she's upstairs. He's none the wiser as he snatches baby Christopher out of the front little flimsy little car seat and he takes him in the house, ready to shove this baby in JR's chest. But as Bobby's walking into the house, he can hear Ellie going at JR. He's like, what the hell? Mom was not supposed to be here. Before he can pivot on his heels, or I don't know what he's going to do because baby's paid for in cash. In cash. I saw the money myself. Pam says, Bobby, is that a baby? She is hollering. She is so, oh my God, my man, my man, my man. Bobby, we got a baby. We got a baby. Baby Christopher's looking up like, oh, because in my mind, the whole ride home, Bobby was telling baby Christopher how crazy. He's like, man, this is so messed up. I'm so sorry you born into this family. I'm your Uncle Bobby. Your daddy ain't Ish. Your mama is also your aunt, if you think about it that way, because now your aunt is going to raise you. You have a brother, cousin. Oh my God, this is going to be real sloppy. So the baby is all up on the tee, but Pam comes down the steps and she's like, oh my God, that's my baby. Miss Ellie, Miss Ellie, look, Bobby got me a baby. JR comes walking out. Ellie comes walking, because they like, what the hell? Now Bobby's like, oh my God, no. Oh my God. I thought you was in the loony bin. Nah. She's not in the loony bin. JR doesn't know that's his baby at the moment. Now Pam thinks that's her baby. Now what do you do? End scene. Very clever, Dallas. I wasn't really sure. I was kind of not doubting that the baby existed for a little bit. And quiet as kept, we don't know for sure in the 2026. This would not be enough to be like, oh yes, I don't, oh, he has the same blood type. A lot of people have that blood type. But by all intents and purposes, this is JR's super cute little chubby baby who kind of looks like Bobby, which works out because, he is related to him. And the kid is a Ewing, but oh my God, the baby kind of looks like Pam too. Oh, can you imagine? Oh my gosh. Can you imagine how absolutely nauseous Bobby would? Oh my God. None of this worked out the way I thought it was going to work out. All he wanted to do is cuss his brother out. Everybody wanted to cuss out JR, and look at this mess. I've thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I hope you do too. All right, guys, that's it. That's all. But join me next time as we jump back into some salacious vintage primetime stories. In the meantime, in between time, stay hydrated, stay moisturized, mind your own business, and keep all of your drama on TV.